are live for the 3 ways. Good evening everyone, from Italy this time, and from America, Sandy and Glenn. Today we're gonna talk about commitment. Commitment that is a big word, big topic for many, and so today we're gonna add a bit of freshness, as commitment doesn't have to be seen as it is today. Ciao Sandy!
Hello Francesca!
How are you?
Where are you? Where in the world is Francesca today?
In Milan.
Very nice. How long a trip is that from London?
Because there is a celebration in close to the lake with a friend, Sandy, and because it was my birthday, I thought we can all celebrate together.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, guys.
When was it your birthday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah.
When, did you miss it also? Did you miss Francesca's birthday?
I had no idea.
Happy birthday
Yeah.
to you. Happy birthday to you. I'm singing alone. Happy birthday to Francesca. Happy birthday.
Grazie, guys.
Yay.
I miss you. How are you?
Good.
Good. Did you post about it? Did you?
No.
No, I didn't. I figured I would have known that. But
I
okay.
just made a post the day after because it was a surprise that my friends gave to me, and my sister organized it, and her boyfriend, so it was very special but very intimate.
I did
Nice.
see a post you put. You were wearing a pretty white dress, and there are a lot of people sitting in a grassy field.
Yeah.
That was your birthday celebration?
Yeah.
I just looked at your dress. I was like, oh, nice. Okay.
We
I was like,
choose
oh, that guy's cute.
we chose the park because it was so sunny, so it was perfect.
Amazing. Good. So
See,
today,
how was your week, guys?
Your week is crazy. I'm launching this weekend the Elite Mastery. So it's going to be the Elite Mastery Circle. That is going to be my weekly coaching
Amazing.
club. And I'm excited. It's going to start. We're going to open it up for registration. We're going to start it right before July. And that's going to be my weekly coaching circle. It's going to be amazing.
Now, for people who are new to you, Glenn, do they need to know anything before they join? How do they join? Because you're amazing and you're world famous. You've got so many followers and fans. And if somebody's new to you, they should really be able to jump in on this knowing what they can get.
Yeah. I'm going to have it on this. So basically what happens is to register, they'll send they'll schedule a free call with one of my team members, and then they'll tell them about the program, how it works, and then invite them into it. And it'll be very cool. So it's going to be live every week on Zoom, and then it's going to be they'll have access to replay it if they miss one of the coaching calls, to listen to it again and listen to it over and over again. And it's going to be the combination of coaching and, of course, what we do best, adding some hypnosis in every time.
So nobody has to be qualified for it. You don't have to be a hypnotist. It's more about wanting to receive life coaching. Is that?
Yeah, anyone that needs to go further in their lives. We all need a place to connect and feel positive. One of the sayings is, if you're the most interesting person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So this is a way.
He's always in the wrong room, Francesca.
Yeah.
No, I agree with the fact that we always have to look for people that, of course, know either more of us or different from us. Because otherwise, it's less interesting.
So it's a way to connect people that are just wanting to achieve more in their life with each other and me every week as I guide them through just keeping on track on your life, on your business, and your relationships, and your health, and inspiring all of us to keep moving forward. It's so easy to lose momentum if we're not connected to something powerful in our lives.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be.
Can I pick up on that? I know we had talked about a certain topic for today, but something you said reminded me of a conversation I had this week with someone who's a good friend of mine who happens to be one of the world's greatest and most famous yoga teachers.
Okay.
We were hanging out, and she randomly got a text from a client, and it's one of those big clients that basically pays the rent. We all have that, right? We all sort of, You have the people who come and go, and then you have your big ones. And so this was a big one, and he basically quit on her right there in front of my eyes. And I watched this woman who is known worldwide for being one of the greatest thought leaders, one of the greatest compassion leaders, one of the greatest communication leaders. And I watched her whole face change and everything. And so I said, listen, a long time ago, when I had a teacher who was significantly older than I was, I'd almost go as close as saying guru, but I'm going to qualify that in a moment. When we're younger, we look up to a lot of people who are really good teachers. Some of us use the word guru. And I asked this woman, I said, well, now that you've reached your level of knowing things and teaching things and being known for what you do, who's your guru? I'd asked her back a long time ago. And the woman said, listen, you get to a point where there are no such thing as gurus. You have peers, because we all learn from everyone and everything. Children are our teachers. The barista is our teacher. There's no question about that. She said, but you get to a point where people are just peers, and no one is a guru, and no one ever was a guru. Now, with that said, I had said to my peer, who is a world leader and thinker in yoga, I said, you know, I'm watching and listening to your own self-doubt, questioning yourself. What did I do wrong? How could I have been better? What more can I learn? I said, and I'm going to offer you this. Stop right there. I said, you already know enough. And this is a message I share with clients who've only worked with me for a few weeks. Wherever they are in the journey, you already know enough. You already are enough. Are you learning more all the time? Sure. But stop questioning yourself, because that's all imposter syndrome. And when it comes down to it, when you really do this work, and Glenn, I know, and Francesca, same thing, I know you're teaching this in your life coaching. When you, rather than reach for more, try to fix it, do better, when you simply instead drop in to what you already know and work in there, knowing your real work is not trying to figure out more. Your real work is taking what you already know and refining, this is the spice of it right here, refining how you communicate that so it's received better, so it's absorbed better. And that is a lifetime of achievement when you take what you already know and you start to refine, how do I communicate this in ways that it simply is received better?
Yeah.
Yes, that makes a master. You don't need to know more. You just need to be really good at how you communicate what you know. Look at the greatest of the greats. They all say the same thing over and over and over.
Also, the plus, in fact, is not thinking you're not enough and you need more as you feel insecure. It's the curiosity that adds the plus, as we always say. So then you are enough, and then you are curious, and then you have more.
Yes, and that curiosity and that interest means learning is continually happening. But when we know we're enough, when we teach what we know, we're always open to learn, we're curious. But when we teach what we know, then you don't need to strive for being the most interesting person in the room, because the most interesting person is the one who's received well. And that's somebody who communicates what they already know. So that could be a 3-year-old better than a 40-year-old. Yeah. So
we have a friend.
3-year-old.
Because the 3-year-old says what they know. They don't second guess. They don't self-doubt. They're clear. Yeah.
I see muscles.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
Abhi.
Ciao, Abhi. Nice to see you here live with us. She's Sandy, Glenn.
Where are you?
I'm from India.
India. Amazing. So isn't it like 1 o'clock in the morning?
No. It's yes, around 1 o'clock. Yes, around. Yes.
So do
Thank you for joining.
come on to be hypnotized? You want to be
You're pretty
hypnotized?
sharp.
What are you doing up so late?
Oh, just seeing some videos like workout video, something kind of that.
So do you want to answer to a question we are going to ask you? Do you want to be hypnotized by the best hypnotherapist of America?
What? I can't.
Do you want to answer to a question, or do you want to be hypnotized?
I want to be hypnotized.
Okay. Let's go.
Oh,
Sand.
1 second. Let me
Oh
sit
no, Glenn, go for it. Go for it.
properly.
You're
If you want to
now.
inside,
There might be. How's your understanding of English?
Oh, hi. Because we study English in our schools. That's why.
Okay. Do you have to
Yes.
translate in your head though? Can you think in English, or do you? When you're hearing English, do you translate it in your mind to India?
Yes, I can translate your language in Hindi. Yes.
Can you think in English though?
Yes, I can.
You can. Okay. That's what matters most. So you're holding your phone, or what are you? What are you
I'm
holding?
holding my phone. Yes.
Okay. So we need to be able to have you not hold your phone, so we can see you without holding it, because we can't have you hold your phone and then.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah.
This will be fine.
Make sure it's nice and loud. Is the volume all the way up on your phone?
What?
Is the volume all the
Yes.
way up?
Yes, it's full.
All right. So I'm not sure about the connection, but let's see how your imagination works.
Okay.
Let's just test your imagination first before we do anything. Okay. So put your hands on your lap.
On your left. Yes.
Yeah, and just sit back. Can you put a pillow behind your head?
1 second. Okay.
All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes. Get them nice and closed down. And I want you to think this thought in your mind. And that thought is, the more you think about opening your eyes, the more you will relax them. Think that again. The more you think about opening your eyes, the more you will relax them. Keep thinking that thought and let it replay over and over and over in your mind, again and again and again. The more you think about opening your eyes, the more you will relax them. And you're going to find in a moment there'll be nothing you can say, think, or do to open those eyes, because the more you think about opening them, the more you will relax them. And it becomes really, really funny to think this thought. Your eyes are stuck down now. They cannot open. They will not open. That's right. Now think that thought. I'm going to count from 5 to 1. Feel yourself go deeper. You've done it right. It's cool, right? Your eyes are stuck down tight. Now check this out. In your mind, silently in your mind, think about these words. Think about these numbers from 5, drifting deeper down to 4. Feel your head become heavy, pulling towards the ground. 5 from 4. 4 going deeper down to 3. Your head getting even heavier and heavier, just like a bowling ball. Feel your body getting so heavy and relaxed. 3 going deeper down to 2. 2 going all the way down to 1. All the way down to 0. There you go. Feel your entire body drop. In fact, your arms are so heavy. Your head is so heavy. Your shoulders are so heavy, you cannot lift them. The more you try to lift your arms, the heavier and heavier they become. And you're also finding your mouth is just as stuck as your eyelids were. Your eyelids are stuck. Your mouth is stuck. You're still wide awake, but you're so deep, deep, deep. There is nothing else you can think about. And you can try to open your mouth and talk, and you'll realize you can only mumble because your lips are stuck down together. It feels really funny. It doesn't bother you in any way. It's just the strangest thing. You can't talk. Now watch this. In a moment, you're going to open your eyes, but your mouth will still stay stuck. It will be so stuck, it can't move. Eyes open, mouth stuck. Look at me. It's the strangest feeling in the world. Your mouth is stuck. Interesting, right? You can nod your head. You can nod your head, but you can't speak. Now watch what's going to happen. You're going to close your eyes now and let your head drift back. And I'm going to give you a suggestion. I'm going to give you a suggestion that is going to change your life right now. Because unless you accept this suggestion, you will not be able to open your eyes. You will not be able to come out of hypnosis. So what I'm going to tell you, you have to accept. And what you're going to accept is this. When you open your eyes, you will be the most confident person you've ever been in your life. You will feel so good about yourself that anybody you talk to, any challenge you take on, you're going to feel fantastic. There is nobody better than you. You can talk to anybody easily, naturally. You have unshakable, you have unstoppable confidence. You can achieve anything you set your mind to because you cannot be stopped. You will not be stopped. You have absolute confidence in certainty, and it's just who you are. It is permanent, and when you fully accept that suggestion, when you feel that is who you are, because I know you feel it already, then your eyes will open, your mouth will unstick, and you will feel friggin' fantastic. Accept that suggestion, come out of hypnosis, feel like a king. How do you feel?
Oh,
How do you feel?
I'm feeling pretty well and little bit happy. I see
Amazing.
something like this in my life.
Just like that. Your life
It's like unconscious mind, I guess. It's my unconscious mind.
Yeah. We just programmed your unconscious mind. And we activated it by sticking your eyes, by making your body heavy, by making it so you couldn't talk. And once we activated it,
how can we awake our unconscious mind?
we just did. For yourself, you can meditate.
No. Okay.
Or
like you thinking of nothing and concentrate on my breathing, something like that.
Thing. But really, the next level is getting into guided meditations, to really doing hypnotherapy meditations. They're fantastic for you.
My sister is a Reiki healer. She did. Yes.
Amazing.
Reiki
Where did she learn? Why she's a Reiki healer? Why she's so passionate about it? Do you know?
She heals people. Yes.
Love it. Yeah. So you wanna learn, you wanna meditate. That's how we do the unconscious mind. You know, I have the Hypno Vault you can join. That is over 100 different meditations you can do. But right now, you already have unshakable confidence. You feel that, don't you?
Yes, yes. I can feel.
You can feel it, right?
Yes. I can't believe that something like that happens to me.
Amazing.
Right now, what can you accomplish?
Anything, I guess.
That's it. That was the right answer. You accomplished. So I want you to go do some big things. I want you to take on some big challenges, and I want you to go kick some ass. That's what I want you to do. All right? I love it. See how quick that was? Sandy, we lost your connection. I don't know if you were with us.
Yes.
Well,
because
the truth.
someone was calling me.
Say it again.
In between, someone was calling me, so I had to cut the phone. That's why.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I can see that.
Glenn, what happened was you are such a good hypnotist, which is basically being a magician, that you made me disappear and come back all while hypnotizing that guy.
Do you want to answer to this question? What is a commitment for you, since we choose this topic for today?
I'm not understanding. Can you please repeat?
Commitment. Do you know the meaning of it for you? What is a commitment for you?
Commitment?
Yeah.
About what?
About for yourself, about life, work, love, connection, relationships, commitment in general.
Commitment, okay. I am kind of very loyal person. If I trust someone, so I trust fully. I don't break anyone's trust, something like that. So that's my commitment to someone.
That's nice. You won't break anybody's trust.
Yes.
That's good.
But then, okay, so for you, commitment then creates stress. So you see it in the other way. So you want to commit without stress. So you see the stress part of commitment.
That's a really, really brilliant way to set it up, Francesca, because that's the issue with commitment. People commit and then it causes stress. So they're being quote unquote nice to someone else and actually violent toward themselves by making a commitment. And that's a really good topic of conversation. Yep.
Yeah.
Really good.
Thank you for giving us
this also one.
Thanks.
I want to ask one.
Yeah. I think he said he has a question.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to ask, some people says that with meditation you can also levitate and something like that. Is that true or not?
There's stories of one of my friends lived in a monastery in Thailand. And there are stories of monks that have meditated for so long that they actually did float. Now, he's never seen it, but in the monastery, and these are people that meditate for endless hours for years and years and years. So there's rumors of it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's true. How about you, Sandy? What have you heard?
You can get the feeling of what people believe is levitation within seconds when you really learn how to meditate. I believe people levitate.
Because they mix in nature energy, something like that. Yes.
When you learn how to meditate, actually, and self-hypnosis, which is basically a similar brainwave state, you will feel those feelings and you will know it. It won't be a question anymore. And Glenn made a really good suggestion, so I want to just reiterate what he said. Because when you asked about meditation, you said, so what does it mean I should go in and listen to my breath and have no thoughts? People do that. They're trying too hard. They don't understand, so nothing is really happening. So when Glenn suggested start with guided meditation, what it's going to do is help you get toward those specific brain wave states. Start with a guided one and you'll get used to what it feels like to feel that feeling of leaving your body. When you start to learn what the feeling feels like, you can get there better by yourself. So I wouldn't start with silent meditation because you set people up for failure. Ultimately, you'll get there, but don't start there. I wouldn't.
I believe people that can levitate are people that spend lots of time alone and preserve all the energy. As of course we expand, but we consume at the same time. When we surround ourselves by lots of people, the energy is very delicate and very powerful at the same time. So in my opinion, people that levitate are practicing a lot, of course, and are able to disconnect from the planet and be totally in their inner self to be able to connect to the above.
I have a story of a friend of mine. He was in a bar with his buddy, and he had a drink, and he was just kind of in this spaced out state. And he looked at the glass, and the glass came into his hand. And now, I don't know if that's completely true or not, but he swears by it. And there's things that happen And one time, my daughter, Olivia, was at the piano. And I said, Olivia, let's just test. Play a note for me. And she played a note, and I said, that was an A. Play another note. It was a D. And for some reason, I just knew what the notes were, and then I got blocked. I started to question it, and it went away. Some people are born with perfect pitch, where they just know what every note sounds like. Other people develop a really good pitch, but I was in this state, and I just felt like the color of the note, and it went away, and I was so irritated because I started to second guess it, and I got a little anxious because I'm like, I've never done that before. And Olivia was freaking out. She's like, God, that's amazing. What's this note? And I haven't been able to do it since. So,
You know, Glenn, I don't know if you knew this, so we're going to add to your talent. When they went and measured, however they scientifically stick things in the atmosphere, the sound of our universe, which is in constant motion, is in a perfect B-flat concert. Did you know that?
I've heard different things about the frequency of the Earth, that it vibrates at a certain frequency.
Yeah, it's measurable.
I've heard people debate about it, but
so people with perfect pitch are tuned into that. Yeah. And you are tuned into it, and then when you start questioning it, it gets noisy.
Oh, I lost it. So there's I was it was so much fun. It was so cool, but then it went away. But yeah, so I don't know. Do you think that, Sandy? Do you think that's true? The stories of monks that have levitated and floated?
Well, I can tell you from my own experiences of unexplainable stuff. Yeah. But when you make it your goal, you're setting yourself up again for failure. So just start doing baby steps. Just start doing things where you start feeling like you've left your body. You can do it right now because you're still somewhat in a state of hypnosis. Go ahead and close your eyes. And even just think, as your eyes are closed, as your eyes, guy from India. He's not with you.
Yeah.
He's not with me. Oh, okay. So yeah. All right. Well, then never mind.
So we're good. So thank you for joining, my friend.
Thank you for joining us.
You have amazing confidence now. Go have some fun.
Thank you for joining us. It was so nice to see you hypnotized by Glennino. Okay.
So I'll tell you guys about the feeling that you can do. Just close your eyes. We don't have to go into a deep state of hypnosis. So you two, with your eyes just closed. And it's interesting because when you close your eyes, you can wonder what you're seeing. Are you seeing the backs of your eyelids, or perhaps your mind has dropped into noticing that the calm in the heart has already matched that groundedness in the calm that already existed in the feet. And so before a person even recognizes the exact position of the hands and feet, and even the fingers and toes, and where they are in space, it becomes too much to even think about. So the mind just lets that go, and perhaps it just drifts, or it drops into floating somehow. So even Francesca now, how do your hands and feet feel? You can open your eyes.
I couldn't resist. Of course, because we're live. Otherwise, I would never open them. Live puts me in movement. I don't know why. So I believe, yeah, I love being hypnotized by you guys. So I follow it, even though Glenn doesn't believe me. But I'm very when I follow.
Yeah, interesting, Glenn, because you had weight on your fingers, and we did about 4 seconds worth. What was your experience with having? Usually, people don't have weight on their hands when I'm hypnotizing them.
I can go into that state anywhere I'm at. So it's actually very comfortable. So I notice I can instantly have my arms feel like right now, my hands and my arms feel like a bridge that I'm just relaxing on. And I can detach instantly. And like right now, there's no tension in my hands. My chin is so comfortable. I could meditate right into a state here. Yeah. So that's all of that.
When you've been to that state, it's the easiest place to be. And Glenn, when you talked about, now that I got the right note when my daughter hit one and then hit the second, and then I second guessed myself, that's exactly the experience they talk about with meditation. People start to fall into this beautiful state where they really just can't even feel the position of their fingers and toes anymore, which can happen very easily and quickly, even on somebody's first time. And then they recognize they're there, and then the recognition of it brings them out of state. So it's a fun place to play.
Yeah. Out of state, in the right state.
So today's topic of discussion, beyond what we experienced with hypnosis, which was so much fun, is commitment. And I'd love to know your thoughts on commitment.
Yeah. What area, Francesca, were you referring to, or?
So I truly believe that commitment is personal for everyone, because we want different things, and also we have different limits by nature. So of course, any commitment is related to the person, to the wanting, to the desire, to the experience of life, because someone, of course, that never experienced, for example, success, for example, is committed to success, because it's also something we want to achieve, something we don't have yet, but also can also be something you truly believe is anything that is important for you, like love, and so you commit. I believe it depends on the importance you give to this sensation, and that can be anything, work, love, a connection with someone, and you commit because you want. I believe a commitment doesn't have to be, of course, forced, even though we often end up in this mistake, but it is something truly that comes because you truly want. And how do you want? Because step by step you commit a little bit, and then you commit because it works for you.
I love the little bit. Too many people commit to too much too soon, and shoot themselves in the foot. And like you said earlier, there's stress associated with commitment. How can that be a good thing? It's not.
It depends also, Sandina, because some people can commit immediately. It's very personal again.
For what purpose then? Why would somebody commit big immediately? For what purpose?
Because for them maybe it's easier to already see the truth and to feel the connection to the commitment, and so they decide to commit because that's what they want to go for, and that's what they want to go through, and that's what they want. So sometimes people are more aware, and sometimes people are less aware.
When people commit too soon, whether it's to their own success or to a relationship, it's a lie. And it's assertion, it's forcing, it's not real, it's action taken too soon, it's an avocado that's not right.
But then you can go one step backward, and then you can still commit and then take it step by step. But I believe it's wrong to say, in my opinion, to say to someone don't commit too fast, because if the desire is so big, why not?
What do you think, Glenn?
Commitment, it's just consistent action. That's all it is. Consistent action that you take over and over. Yeah. Whether it's with a person or with a job, with a career, with an instrument. And some things are worth committing to instantly. Things that help us grow, things that help us change. Committing to a new mindset, a new point of view. Yes, unhealthy attachments, by committing too soon to a relationship and giving your power away, that's done impulsively. That's different, you know.
I love it. And when you said committing to mindset, exactly that. So if you're going to commit, let it be committing to your bliss. Let it be committing to, like Glenn does all day, every day, committing to finding release in your body at every opportunity. Let that be the commitment. I'm committing to myself that if I find myself drunk dialing, I'm going to pause and I'm going to commit to finding flow within my own body.
Committing out of completion, because when we commit but we have a void, that's why I believe, Sandy, you're right when you say step by step, because then you complete yourself and then you can truly commit, because otherwise, if you lack, of course, awareness and self-confidence and of course self-awareness, as I said, is impossible to commit, because if you cannot commit to yourself, imagine to the rest. So it's very important, as Sandy says, dear friends, that of course step by step is ideal, but if you're already complete and you find the situation perfect for you, it's also beautiful to commit straight away.
I have a really good friend who's brilliant and so kind, and is a volunteer. She volunteers for a lot of things. And so over the years, she's made many commitments, which takes up a lot of time. And now it's actually gotten in the way of her time available to work with clients. Now we're talking about the loss of literally tens of thousands of dollars that she could use, lots of money that she's saying no to because she committed to do something that's not paying her anything. And I said, well, we can't go back in time and redo your decision. But right now where we are, if your commitment were to yourself and to honesty and to growth, then you'd make a new right decision now. So when we say, yes, I'll be there on Friday, we should really show up on Friday, come hell or high water. But why are we saying I'm going to be there Friday? And if something does come up, how can we communicate that clearly, right? So when your commitment becomes inward and becomes about what Glenn said, mindset, and becomes about what Francesca said, released and relieved from stress, that's how we know we're making strides toward what we want. Yeah.
I think of the first agreement, be impeccable with your word. That's what commitment really is. If the answer is no, don't say yes. If the answer is yes, don't say no. I hear that a lot, like especially with my clients. If I say I'm going to do something, if I say I'm going to send you the session at this time, or if we're going to do this, whatever I decide to commit to with my clients, I make an effort to be impeccable with my word and do everything that I say I'm going to do. It's a really important
And just
thing.
stop saying you're going to do so much. Stop saying you're going to do so much, right?
Also commit to the meaning of it, because sometimes we commit to the attachment of it, and so we get so stubborn to one thing that of course then we lose the commitment of the meaning of it. Why are we doing something, and how? And so this is all part of the commitment. It's not only looking at the goal and looking at the destination. That's not the commitment. The commitment is knowing what is included to reach the destination, which is of course not only one but many maybe. So it's important to commit to the value of it, the meaning of it, and then not only to one particular thing. Otherwise we lose the depth of the commitment.
Exactly. Let's take this into a real life scenario. I have a client who is a young lawyer, and in fact, much younger than you, Francesca, because you're a year older now. She's about 30. She's very smart.
I'm 35 almost. I'm 34.
How are you 35 almost when you had a birthday 2 days ago?
I always add 1 year. I don't know why.
I'm also 35 almost, rounding to my next life. So this young lawyer, about 30, has committed to this job, makes a good amount of money. She's my client. And although she's extremely smart, she does a great job at her job. The part where we really had to work was about empowerment, about being stepped on like crazy and taken advantage of. And it's 11 p.m. and hey, listen, you got to do this call right now overseas. Don't go to sleep. And that's just, so here she is now. We've done some work together for a few weeks, and she's standing next to her is somebody junior, somebody younger than she is, who works at the law firm, and also then her senior, her boss. And her boss comes up, so it's the three of them. Boss comes up, gives her a stack of work this big, like a foot tall, plops it down and says, I need this by tomorrow. Well, she's already working on everything else. She's working, now, boom, I need this by tomorrow. So per the role playing that she and I had done, she stayed very calm and said something she's never said in her life in any situation like this. She looked at her boss very calmly, very kindly, and said, I understand this is a priority for you. I'm going to have it for you in 2 days. Well, the junior person next to her, jaw dropped this big. The boss, the senior's jaw dropped this big. And there was a pause, which is also what I said. When you negotiate, you speak and then you stop. Don't be afraid of the pause. If you're afraid of the pause, do what Glenn does and soften in the moment. Just go inward, right? So she just sat through the pause, and the boss took a sec, the jaw dropped, and then the boss said, okay. And that was the ended it, and she bought her life back in that moment because we train people how to treat us. And this is all around what that commitment really means. Because she would have argued earlier, but I committed to this job. I'm supposed to be this way. What did you really commit to? What did you really commit to? And these are the kind of questions I'd love for people who are listening and watching to start asking themselves. What did I really commit to? And is it okay to make a new commitment now?
Yeah. Also to explore before committing, not of course on surface, but to truly connect to different possibilities is important. Also in work, because we cannot truly commit if then we change our mind or if we are so confused about what we truly want. So exploration more than experimentation, because we always use, myself included, the word experimentation, so it includes failure, while exploration has a less negative connotation as there is less failure, even though we don't believe in it, of course, but it's more about understanding, exploring. So exploration, I believe, is the first phase before also committing.
That's some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Did you get that, Glenn? Exploration as opposed to experimentation, because experimentation sets you up for failure.
This, I learned it with my mentor, Rossano. And also, when he told me this, I was so mesmerized by the meaning of it, because it is so true.
How can you put that in a real life scenario so we can hit that home and people can really get that? That's great.
Yeah.
Glenn, how would you put that in a real life scenario? Explore instead of experiment.
I really just think it comes down to your attachment to the meaning of each of those words. To me, they feel like the same thing. Exploring and experimenting. I think it's like tomatoes and tomatoes to me. To me, that sounds like the same thing. I think the overall concept underneath both those words, it's just finding wonder in what you do, which is in your name, Francesca.
Okay, let's imagine, guys. Let's imagine to be in nature, the three of us, and we have two potatoes or two potatoes, and then we have to experiment with the food we have in front of us, and then we have to explore the food we have in front of us between the trees. I think there is a difference, because experimenting, it puts you into action, and you're going to do a mistake probably 70%. Exploration, you are less impulsive because you don't want to see the result. You want to understand more than taking action and looking at the result.
I totally get you. Wait, hold on. Because now I want to say what you said, just translated into American boy into Glenn, and I think this is going to work. Ready? Okay, so Glenn, put the potatoes aside. Imagine you're with a hot woman in bed. Which words do you choose? Hey, I want to experiment you, or I want to explore you?
Both.
You say to the girl, I want to use you as my experiment, or I would love to explore you.
Both.
Really, those...
All right, I guess so. All right, I hear. Well, when you put it in those words,
I had to make it make sense, right?
But of course, yeah, because we all give different meaning to things, like choice, exploring.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So at the end, we decide the definition of a word that is important for us. So the more positive we are, of course, it's difficult. We know, the better it is. It doesn't matter what the others say.
Okay. So that will be exploring. All right, good.
Yeah, I love that. That really opened that up.
Yeah.
And it's great because when you approach before making a commitment, exploration, your answer may be very different. So ultimately, when we pull apart what does commitment really mean, what we're finding is self-empowerment. And this changes your entire life. It's huge if people are really getting this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell you 3 of the worst words in the English language?
Yeah.
Commitment, loyalty, and obligation. Now, I know it sounds like it's opposite.
They have become natural. I really, I really like a commitment. You need to feel it. An obligation because you want. It doesn't have to be because you have to. Even though in life we have to do many things, to feel good, to recover. but at the end, life is about to finding freedom within your possibilities. And so the idea is to find the right path with the right people aligned with you. And if there is conflict, it's not because you want different things, it's because you are different things. And so obligation in these cases is felt less as an obligation, but more about, okay, I want to do it, let's do it.
Right. When people say I am a loyal person, they put that on their resume. I'm like, as if that's a good thing. It weakens you. It weakens you. If you want to be there, you will show up. And if you don't want to be there, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. I am not committed to my children. I am there because I want to be. They're mean to me. And I'm still there because I'm not committed to my relationship. I'm there because I want to be. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Those words are like,
in fact, I don't understand that, even though we understand them, all these moms that they feel this obligation of growing their children. Well, there is lack of love within themselves, and so they feel obliged to do anything. So obligation, again, of course, is my connotation as a negative effect, because you are obliged. We don't have any obligation if not being happy for ourselves at the end.
Totally. And that's why the guy we had on earlier, he said, oh yeah, my superpower is being loyal. And I'm like, check that, which you said to him, because you said, no, your commitment, that's laced with stress. And I think most people lace their lives with stress, thinking that God is giving them points for being a good person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They train themselves to unlisten to their own impulses, where they really want to be, who they really want to be. Yeah. What do you think, Glenn?
Yeah.
We tie ourselves down with too many obligations right out of the gate, especially here in America. When you get out of high school, the first thing usually we tie ourselves down to is college and giant loans, or we tie ourselves down to credit cards, and we obligate ourselves to so many things. I think most people start families way too soon. I think that we just get underneath. Instead of being a little more free, we're too quick to obligate ourselves down to all these commitments that don't really need to be there just yet. You know?
Yeah, the mistake is that people take this step to add a plus to the relationship because they lack something. That's the mistake of people building a family with children, because they are so bored within, I know for experience. And so they add this amazing magic of children, thinking the relationship is going to go better. But of course, if the problem is lying within the relationship, it's not going to get better with children. So it's very important to find the balance within the two, and then to build the family.
That's, yes, exactly that. So if you're going to commit to anything, let it be your bliss. If you're going to be obliged to anything, let it be breathing and softening and breathing and softening. What are you working on today? Breathing and softening.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that going to make you money? You know, it's going to make you more money than anything else, because you're just staying in who you are. You start to hear your own impulses again and your own creativity instead of the shoulds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, good. That was good stuff for our day today.
Yeah.
Right, we should wrap it up with a nice closeout. I think that was good. We had some fun hypnotizing him. It's hard when English isn't their first language to ask certain questions, you know, especially with hypnosis, when they have to translate English to their native language. A lot of the words that we use, like the pacing and the leading, doesn't quite land the same, you know. So it's always a challenge, but it's fun.
You read him really well. Yeah, you read him really well, really quickly. And people who are studying hypnosis and hypnotherapy, if they want to go back to the earlier part of the video when Glenn did do the hypnosis, watch the guy in India, watch his breathing. You can see it change. Watch his heart rate. You can see it. And his facial muscles. He was in. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah. Yeah, his eye.
With that one's really easy. It's really easy to excite the imagination through an eye fascination, where some of the other stuff we do, if he's translating it, it doesn't necessarily take when we do suggestibility tests or challenges. Double binds or challenges are difficult when they're translating. And that's one of the things I've learned a lot, because I have a lot of international clients. And when I work with somebody, when their English isn't their first language, I definitely change my approach when we do our hypnotic language. You know, it's a big thing, the understanding of the language, because everything we do is auditory. Hypnotherapy is 100% auditory, so that's really important.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there's power in our work.
Hypnotic test, Glennino. The guy loved it. Friends, come and be hypnotized by Sandy and Glenn next time.
Yes. Take us out with the final thought, Francesca. Wrap it up.
See, well, I believe commitment is important to truly go deep in life and to find your path, but we don't have to commit to one specific thing again, but to the meaning of something important for us. For example, I commit to love. That doesn't mean that I have to love everything. I commit to love for me. And so we all have to choose our own commitments, also following our own wanting and desires, because we are all different.
Absolutely.
That was good.
That was great.
That was great.
Perfect.
I love you guys.
Perfect.
I love you
Way to
guys.
wrap up our day. So we'll see all of you next week.
And happy
See you
birthday,
next week.
Francesca.
As always,
Bye,
go
guys.
so fast with this hour.
Awesome.
Bye.
Love you guys. Baci.